Hello, Franklin third graders, and welcome to Art Masterpiece. My name is Jessica Mackey. My daughter, Kate Mackey, is in Mrs. Donaldson's class, and I get to be your guide this year as we talk about Art Masterpiece. And as we do it in a different format, right? Everything video. I can't be there with you in person, but I hope that you'll be able to tell just how much I appreciate the things that we're going to be discussing and how much I love art. So first, what is art? Now, if you're in third grade, you've been doing Art Masterpiece for a while now, you know what art is, right? Art is an expression of human creative skill or imagination, and that can take many different forms. For some people, art is creating music, it's writing songs, it's playing the piano, it can be drawing or painting or sculpting. It can be writing stories, it can be dance, playing pretend, that's acting, that's a form of art. It can even be creating something beautiful with Legos or Play-Doh. When you are taking your imagination to create something, that is art. It's making movies, it's taking pictures with someone's phone or camera. It's creating something from your imagination. And I think all of us, when we create something, it's human nature that we want people to like what we create. We want someone to look at the Play-Doh sculpture we built or to watch the movie we've made and be like, oh my gosh, that was so good. You are so talented. You're an amazing artist. There's nobody who's ever built Legos like you build Legos, right? That's what we want to hear. But the reality about art is not everybody likes the same thing. Not everybody appreciates the same kinds of art. I love to dance, and so when my girls have a dance concert, that's like my favorite thing. I love to go watch dance concerts. But my husband and my 16-year-old son, not so much. For them, it's like another form of torture. They hate it. And yet, they love to sing. They love to listen to music. They love other kinds of art, and that's okay. And so as we talk about art and artists this year, we're going to be talking about some paintings that maybe you will love. But there's going to be other paintings that maybe you don't love, and that is okay. We don't all have to love the same thing, but it's good to respect the effort and the love that went into creating that artwork. Just like we would want someone to respect that amazing flower we made out of Play-Doh. You know, we want to be appreciated. And the same thing goes for these artists. So one of the other things we get to talk about a little bit with these artists is not just the paintings that they made, but maybe why they made it. What were they trying to create? What were they trying to tell us? What were they trying to make us feel? And we get to talk about that, and we get to explore that, and that's a really, really fun thing. So today's artist, he lived a really long time ago in a little country in Europe called the Netherlands. Now the Netherlands is so small that you could fit 7 of them just in the state of Arizona alone. That's a pretty small country. But what's even cooler about it is even though it's small, it has 3 times as many people in it than we have in Arizona. So there's a lot of people crammed into a little bitty space, and they love it. And the Netherlands has produced some of our most famous artists. Some of our most talented artworks are gonna come from the Netherlands. Something that's kind of unique about the Netherlands is what they call their people. So if you live in Australia, you are called Australian. If you live in Mexico, you're called Mexican. But if you live in the Netherlands, you're called Dutch. I don't get it, but it's just what they do. And so our painter is a Dutch painter, and he was born in 1632, which means that if he were still alive today, he would be 389 years old. That is really, really old. And he is a a very talented painter who maybe wasn't known super well when he was alive, but his name is Johannes Vermeer. People called him Jan. And so Jan lived a long time ago, and because he lived so long ago, and because his paintings weren't super well known outside of his little city, his little area, not a ton of them survived. It's almost 400 years. Can you imagine trying to keep paintings amazing for 400 years? So only 36 of his paintings have survived that time period and are on display today. And one of those paintings is the one that we're going to discuss today. Now, this painting is showing a woman. Do you see this woman? What is this woman doing? She's pouring milk, right? So will it surprise you to find out that the name of this painting is called The Milkmaid? She's a maid, she's pouring milk, the milkmaid. And it doesn't look all that much different than maybe something that you guys do on a regular basis, pouring milk into a bowl, right? For us, it's a bowl of cereal. For her, she's making some bread pudding, she's pouring milk. One of the reasons that Vermeer is so famous is because of what he does with light and color. Okay, now I know that that seems a little complicated, but he loves to take normal things, everyday scenes like a maid pouring milk, and he likes to create something beautiful from it by how he makes the light hit. Okay, so if we look at this painting, where do you see the light coming from? Is it coming from the top? Is it coming from a lamp? Or is it coming from that window? Do you see that window? You see how that light is filtering in through the window. And he made it so that it lit this woman in a very special way. So just think, if you have your mom and dad's camera and you're trying to take a picture, you need light, right? You're trying to take this awesome picture of your friend making a crazy face, and you go to take the picture and it's too dark. You can't see his face. So what do? We turn on the flash, right? So that we can see his face and take the picture. But when we turn on that flash, when we take that picture, we can see the crazy face, but we can't see all the stuff behind very well, right? The stuff that is not right inside that radius of the flash, it starts to go a little bit dark. And so when you look at that picture, the thing that your eyes are immediately drawn to is the crazy face. Does that make sense? So Vermeer used the same idea of a flash or a special light pinpointing focus. And so for him, his special light came from this window, and it pinpointed the focus, meaning it took that light and it directed your eyes to look exactly where Vermeer wanted your eyes to look. So look at the painting. What is the first thing you see? The woman, right? You see the woman and you look straight down her arm to that milk that she's pouring into the bowl. And that becomes your focus. That is the first thing you see in this painting. And all the other things, like the baskets on the wall and the stuff on the table, they're beautifully painted. They're amazingly detailed, but that's not where your eye goes. Those start to become part of the background, and you don't even notice them right at first. You notice the woman and what she's doing and what her face looks like. So look at the woman's face. Does she look angry, happy, content? She looks pretty peaceful, doesn't she? She's got a little bit of a smile happening. She looks like she is good with pouring her milk and making her bread pudding. She is happy doing these everyday things in her life. She doesn't have to be doing some big, grandiose, huge, special, important thing to feel happy. She's pouring milk and she's good. And so he brings your focus to that woman, to the feeling, to the reality that there is peace and contentment in the simple things that we do day in, day out, every day. And you find yourself looking at this woman's face on the happiness, that little smile she has, wondering, what is she thinking, right? What is this woman thinking about that has her so content? Is she daydreaming about a boy? We don't know. One of the things that is so fun and special about this painting is not just what is there and the things that you see in this painting, but what isn't there. So if you look at this painting, you'll see that there is a spot where initially Vermeer had painted a big map on the wall, and he had painted a basket down behind the woman. And he finished up this painting and he looked at it and he's like, it's not right. I don't like it. Now, how many of us have ever messed up while we're creating something? Maybe we're drawing something and it doesn't look good, or we're building Legos and it doesn't turn out the way we want, and we fix it, right? We take an eraser, we take the Legos apart, and we get to rebuild. And that's what Vermeer did. He painted over these things and he started again until he created the backgrounds that he felt like looked right for his painting. And what's so great about taking out that map and changing out the basket is that it took away the distractions. It took away the things that pulled your eyes away from the woman. And it made her the focus again, because that's what he really wanted. That's what he was trying to create, was this woman as the focus of this painting. And I think it's beautiful that when it comes to art, we get to decide what we create. We get to decide how we create it, and we get to decide who we want to share it with. But it's hard to imagine that Vermeer, almost 400 years ago, could have even begun to think that someday there would be a classroom of third grade students in Arizona, in the United States of America, in 2021, talking about something that he created. How incredible is that? So go home, go to work, go create. Make something that you cherish, something that you love, something that you feel proud of, because who knows, maybe one day there'll be a Dutch classroom of kids looking and talking about something you made.